Hi, this is Richard with Random Software. I wanted to show you quickly how the Localize package can be used to make your Unity applications multilingual. I have here a very simple application in Unity. As you can tell, it's a 2D app. It has nothing more than a single GUI text element, which has the default value of GUI text field goes here. And I have a single component that's going to manipulate this thing. Right now, if I play this app, obviously nothing's going to happen. It's kind of boring. The first thing to do is to be able to demonstrate that I can actually change the text that's on the screen at all. So like any good programmer, I'm going to search for this component, and I'm going to change its text to, actually I'll make it say hello world. It's a lot more fun. Now when I run the application now, it should dynamically change that text to hello world. Hey, now it's running. Looks pretty good. Now, if you want to make this localizable, I can't actually encode the text hello world because that's English. I don't want to put that in the main application. So what I want to do instead is I'm going to employ the Localize suite. And you can see the suite's actually already been imported in this package. It consists of a README file, a content, and a couple simple classes. That's really all there is to it. I'm going to create a new resources folder. And maybe I'll open that thing up actually. That's where it's resources. Now, being a programmer, I like to actually work in a source file when I edit my text. So I'm going to create a new file called, let's call it my text. It's a .str file, and I'm going to put it right in this file, in this folder. So inside my resources folder, I now have a my text.str file, and it's initially empty. Now this file is it's in regular text format. It's easy for you to work with. We'll take a look at it. Let's put some initial content, and there is a sample of this available inside the Localize applet. It's just easier to start from scratch. I'm going to write my text in English to start with because frankly that's the only language I speak reasonably well. I'm not even sure about that sometimes. And I'm going to create a first string that says well, hello. I'm going to make it say, we'll just call it hello world. Hello world again. That's all there is to it. That's this is a new source file, and if I go back to my main application, my main text, where is this guy? He's in sample scene. Ah, yes. I still have him open. Instead of having the hard-coded text hello.world, what did I call that new thing? I called it my text. So I'm going to say my text.hello. So what that means is this string that I just created, the keyword hello is going to represent the phrase hello world again. So when I play this now, it should say hello world again. Very easy. The neat thing about this is how the Localize suite made all that happen. So all I did was I created this text file, just already open. I created this text file, and in response, you can go into the resources folder, and you'll see that there were other things that were created for me. First of all, there was a generated directory that has created a new C# file that includes my text as a static class, which has the keyword hello, which means I want to get a translation for whatever the string hello represents. And it has created this new .bytes file. This is a runtime resource that says hello maps to hello world again in the language English. Now obviously you can have more strings in this thing than you want. Let's put a second string in. Goodbye. All done. Goodbye. Now, and you can put these in quotes if you prefer. You can even have multiple lines if you want. It works just fine. Alright, now let's go edit the source file so that it's actually going to use that string. Always leaving that open. And when I run this, I should see, sorry, I gotta start running. When I see this, I should see both strings. Now let's do some translation, because right now all I'm doing is I'm putting English up on the screen. I could have done that previously. That's not that exciting. So we're going to go to the resources, and we're going to say that I want a translation. Translate this into, I want to have a translation available in, let's do two languages, French and Korean. That's always difficult. Now as soon as I do that, you'll notice over here, the console woke up and it said it's recompiled the strings, and it points out that the translation files for French and Korean are currently missing, so it's going to create initial ones for me. And you can see it's actually done that. It created two new files. Now these files, they're generated for me inside my string test assets resources folder, and these are in .po format. Let me show you what one of these looks like. Say the French one. This says that the keyword hello in English means hello world again, and in French, it doesn't mean anything yet. Nobody has any idea. This phrase fuzzy, this is a standard indication to the translator that this string needs some attention. So you would ship this file off to a translator who would come back and he would actually translate the text. So let's say, right now nothing has changed. I'm still displaying everything in English. Let's go up. I'm going to pretend that I'm a translator for a moment. And I have my favorite online PO file editor. You could edit these in text. A translator probably wouldn't. He would use a suite like this. You take the, say, the French file. Actually, Korean's more exciting. We'll start with Korean. And because this is an industry standard format, these .po editors understand how to work with it already. You can see these are the English texts. I have one text for hello world again, one for all done, goodbye now. And we're going to take this phrase and we're going to translate it into Korean. Now my Korean is terrible. I'm not even kidding. I know this begins with 안녕하세요, but I'm not sure what the rest is. So we're going to go to translate.google.com. I'm going to say hello world again, translate it into Korean. Yay. And actually we'll just stick with 안녕하세요 because I understand that part. And then for goodbye now, we'll do the same thing. Goodbye. We'll translate that. Amusingly, that says 안녕, which is not correct. At least not as far as I know. But that's what we're going to use. And now you can see that it has flagged both of these guys as having been not translated because I didn't copy them correctly. My apologies. The translation for goodbye now. Save, thank you. And the translation for hello. Sorry, this is what I get for using a cheap website. There we go. So now it's saved the translation for hello world again as 안녕하세요 and goodbye now as 안녕. So I'm going to save this file, which means I'm going to be able to download it. And I'm going to download it right on top of the existing one for Korean. Yes, I want to replace it. And I switch back to Unity. And as you can see, Unity says I just recompiled the strings from my text. So let's take a look at what's in there now. Not that. Now my editor I'm using is kind of ugly. I could use Notepad, it would probably work a little better. Yeah. So these strings that it's putting in there with the right carriage returns so you can read them a little better. You can see it's got the actual text embedded for each of these strings. I'm not going to save that because I don't want to modify the file format, but anyway, it's clearly encoded the Korean text. Now right now, nothing has really changed. I'm still displaying things in English. And the only way I could really show you if I'm going to be displaying something in Korean is actually to switch to Korean, but that would kill my recording. So instead, I'm going to tell my application that I'm actually in Korean. Oops, sorry, just pasted some of that. So at the start of my app, I'm going to say my text .language equals KO, which is the Korean, is the abbreviation for the Korean language. Now this, like any other Unity class, this is going to happen on startup, and it's going to say I want you to use Korean instead of English, or instead of the system default language. And when I run that, bang, I get the Korean text on the screen without me as a programmer really having done anything. Now the default setting for whatever your language is of course extracted from runtime. So this is obviously a good start. It works out pretty well. I'm going to take a look at that Korean file again. If you can ignore the fact that it's hard to read the Korean text. Let's say that the programmer then modified something. He said my text.hello. Well, he went into resources and he said this hello is just really not enough. I don't want it to say hello world again. I want to say hello forever. And he saved it. And we'll put it back in English and see what that looks like. It should say hello forever and then a goodbye string. Yeah. So hello forever. But what's happened to this file? This is the Korean translation, and you'll notice it's modified itself. It now says hello forever, and it's gained the fuzzy flag. The purpose of this is that when the programmer modifies the actual text resources, the default language text resources, the Localize suite is smart enough to recognize that the string has changed and updates these .po files so that the translator will know to revisit this string, because 안녕하세요 is probably no longer the correct string. He now needs something different to represent hello forever instead. That's what the fuzzy keyword indicates. When the translator provides a new string, he strips off the fuzzy keyword, it goes away, and that allows you to continually update this in the background as you go. So that is how the localization system works for Unity. It is very text-based. It's not about being able to present right-to-left reading languages. It doesn't solve your locale issues like recurrency conversion, but it does a heck of a job for manipulating strings. Thanks.